Hey everyone, it's YJ, and I wanted to start a new series called Queer Nation, where I talk about what it means to be both queer and trans and Asian. I first came out as trans when I was 15 years old, and there was nobody in my community or online that I could turn to talk about my identities or to even see people that look like me in the media or on social media or anything in navigating transition socially, medically, and in just finding that community. I saw a lot of representation for white trans folks, especially trans males, but not for people that look like me. I didn't have any queer trans Asian friends. In this first episode, I just wanted to talk about what those three identities mean to me. I identify as transmasculine. Being trans has always felt like displacement. Ever since I was a young kid, I never really fully identified with my femininity. But to say that I didn't identify with it at all would be a lie. I think in high school I first articulated the fact that I was trans, and I started socially transitioning, and it wasn't until recently that I started pursuing a medical transition. I was assigned female at birth, but I also identify as gender nonconforming because I think that the way that the gender binary is set up is very repressive to people, and it doesn't allow the expression of the multitude of identities that one person can hold. And although I live most of my days as a binary trans masculine person, I also embrace and explore both sides of my femininity and masculinity. I identify as queer as a reclamation because there's a very long history of that word being used as a slur. Queerness to me means fluidity, meaning that I don't have to stay the same. I can change. It means duality. It means that I don't have to choose between who I like, what my identities are. I can be a multitude of things at once. And it means intentionality in accepting and exploring different parts of myself, including my femininity and my masculinity. In high school, I didn't know how to describe my gender or my sexuality, and so I told people and I told myself that I was like an amoeba or a ghost or a cloud. And so I'm glad I have the terminology now to express myself more clearly. My identity as an Asian American is probably the most complex and is the identity I have the most to talk about today. Being Asian American has often meant being lost, being stuck in between, and being disconnected from other people. It has meant a language that I wish I were more fluent in, and customs I wish I were more familiar with, and a reverence for my parents and to the ideals of filial piety. It has meant community. Growing up in a pretty white suburban town, I've always been excited when I meet other Asian and Korean Americans because I feel like I can relate to them more, and there are a lot of cultural and familial things that I don't have to explain when I'm around them. It's always made me feel closer to home, wherever home is. It's about learning the rich history, both of my motherland and how my family got here to the United States, and also the long history of Asian Americans in the United States, and the difficult journeys they've come through. It's acknowledging my privilege as an East Asian. It is food, it is teas that remind me of home and my mom's home-cooked jjigaes. It is my education and all that it has stood for my family and for myself in always wanting to do better and to always strive to do more. I identify as queer and trans because the gender binary can be repressive and it's not big enough to describe who I am. In the next video, I'll be talking about the intersection of these identities, but if you have any other questions, please shoot me an email or leave a comment down below. Please like this video and hit subscribe if you want to see more content.